And I love the God that I praise. I love the God that is anywhere and everywhere. The God that does not discriminate, the God that does not judge, the God that loves me for who I am.
Nowhere to be found, but I keep looking for it. Out of my sight, but I keep looking for
it. So another story time. Basically, what I promised you. A girl is keeping her word. Yes, 2 weeks later, much later than I expected this to come. However, I have been dealing with, stuff. I've been feeling under the weather. Flu has finally got me, guys. I have fought so hard not to be part of the flu statistics in 2023. However, here we are, finally. My voice is rusty, but it sounds like it's a bit more clear with the flu, so I'm not complaining for you guys. So another story time today. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Usne Hope and thank you for tuning in. Please kindly do subscribe if you haven't, and for all my returning subbies, thank you for staying here. You're most definitely welcome. And please, before we get on to this video, kindly do hit the notification bell, and let's talk about the subject at hand today on the comments down below. So today I come and tell you a story time why, and I'm taking this because I wrote a few notes why I stopped going to, why I left Christ Embassy Church. It is, so the last time I said I shouldn't be going to church because I have found out in my almost lifetime of churching, and I have realized that church is not what it should be. Church is not what they claim to be, and unfortunately this goes for all churches. I do not feel do I know what church should be? No. However, I feel like right now churches are just fulfilling their own agendas. We all really don't know what church is. And then there are some churches that that feel they are the gods of the world. If you ain't with them, then you are nobody. Then you're a sinner. You're a sinner based on the fact that you just don't go to the same church as them or their church. And I did share that personally. I still go to church. Sorry, there's a child next door. There's a baby that keeps crying. But anyway, let's get back to the video. So I personally still go to church, and I said I shouldn't be going to church because really today, what really is church? And I don't have an answer to that. I doubt that there are many people who have who know what is. People are personalizing God. People are gatekeepers to God, actually. I've been gatekeepers to God. Our so-called pastors, our so-called evangelists, prophets. Suddenly they know who God is, and it's according to their way. Should you have a different aspect to it, then So, but now let's dive into why we are here. Why did I leave Christ Embassy Church? So how did I even get to Christ Embassy in the first place? Unfortunately, guys, it was health-wise. So I don't even know if this still exists. So Christ Embassy had a division called the Healing School. So I was unwell, so unwell that I had to drop out of school. And how old was I? I was pretty young, but at the same time I was already independent. However, me falling sick forced, yes, independent in such a way that I could do things by myself. However, I've always been a mama's baby. I've lived away far from home. However, I've always reported back, to my mother. So we discussed this, and we had tried everything. Basically, we had left no stone unturned, um, in the hopes and means for me to heal. I suffered from migraines at this time, and they were pretty severe. And a friend of mine suggested, I go to the healing school. He introduced me to the healing school, told me about this healing school. I told my parents, and they they agreed. I think at this time, like I said, we were trying everything. So anything that was suggested to us, we will jump at it. So I get to Christ Embassy, register Nanani, and I meet so we are divided into groups, and we are appointed to pastors, different pastors around, and they were pretty young. So these were the pastors that would lead us to our healing. And so there's this child crying again. So I want to pause. And here we were basically taught how to get healed and never be sick again, because from here we are no longer human. We are out of this world. We've been born again, and once born again, we are no longer of this world. So we are stripped of our humanity. Which is, a human does get sick. Even in the Bible, we have people that, yes, they were healed by Jesus, but people do get sick. So right now, that church told me, for example, right now I've got flu. I'm suffering from just normal influenza that comes with seasons. So basically, we were drilled that it was a sin, it was wrong to get sick. That was because you don't believe hard enough in Christ. In Christ, your faith was then questioned. Should you get sick? Should you have an accident? So that's what we're told. So, and in desperation, this sounds all too good when you are sick and you never want to be sick again. So you're like, I'm going to get healed here. This is what went through my mind. So this is where I'm going to get my healing. And once I get my healing, I'm never going to get sick again. I'm going to live, a righteous life biblically, or according to Christ Embassy Church. And, and I'm going to live, I'm never going to be sick again. A sick-free life. I'm going to live a healthy, fulfilling life from there. And not just that, they promise you even that, like I said in the previous video, that these people will also monetize everything. Everything just comes down to money. And for a person that just wasn't into money, but hold on, who does not want to get rich? Definitely not me. So we are told that we're going to get taught to live an absolute miracle of a life, everybody's dream of a life. Because like, when you are called into Christ, that is what you are going to get all of your desires, all of your heart's desires. And never mind what your calling is, never mind what God has called you to earth for. So that thing is just, you are not taught that, hey, hold on, yes, there's this certain life that we are exposed to on earth. Are we in on earth? English, matter where we move. So you are told that you're going to be, there's this life that we have been exposed to, and if you want it, you're going to get it, if you believe hard enough, sharp. So that's when I grew a good relationship with this pastor. I need you to note this pastor, because he comes back much later on in this video or in this story. So we grew a very great relationship with this pastor that I was assigned to at healing school. I remember I haven't healed, guys. Yo. Remember I told you my background. I believe that God deals with me, the enemy. God did not care for who I was or how I come to him as. So I had a tongue ring. But my spirit, my soul, and that time, even my flesh, people, we're not sinners. I'm not saying I'm perfect because there's no way. I don't believe in perfection of a human soul. However, back to the story. I just had a tongue ring. And just because I liked having a tongue ring, it means, he took it out. He made sure that he did not take it out because he did not. But he manipulated me. Very important. He manipulated me to taking it out. How did he manipulate me? He says, let me see that tongue. Let me see your tongue ring. How is it? I've never seen a tongue ring. He takes it and says, you're not getting it back. It is so wrong for a Christian child to have a tongue ring. Wada. He condemns me for a tongue ring. Note, this pastor does that. So I go back home, we exchange contacts, and life continues. And then I am called later on. Yes, I did. Before I go further on, yes, I believe at that time I did get my healing. And this will come to say that I don't know whether I believed in it or that was the time that God decided to set me free for then. Just give me a break from sickness. I did. I had suffered from back pains as well. And, I remember Pastor Chris, and the final day after the 21 days, I think, 21 days of the healing school, on the final day, there's a big crusade. If I can find the video, I'll put it up here.
Healed, I felt like I had received my life again. I felt like I came back from the grave.
Crying, tears of joy running down his face because he knows this is his time, this is his hour.
Return no more. In the name of Jesus Christ, I bring you healing. I bring you healing. Amen. You are here right now. Put your hands around your neck. Put your hands around your neck.
So yeah, this is what it is like to, and that healing school crusades at the healing school of Christembassy's healing school. Sure. I did feel a breeze on my back. And I remember him forcing me to fall. When they lay their hands on you and everybody falls from the Holy Spirit. With me, that wasn't the case. I did not. They had to push me down. Was it my demons that were fighting? I would never be sure. However, did I even have demons? Definitely I did not. So which demons were fighting? Anyway, so I go back home. Life continues as usual. And in this, I need to record, my battery is going to die. So in this, I get called, I think later on, a couple of months later, I get called to do an interview. And wait, I get called in Joburg. Pastor Chris's name is hardly even in Joburg. However, Pastor Chris wants to see you. So, like when you're there, you idolize this pastor. You are taught to idolize. He is your everything. Suddenly, he becomes your God. He becomes your father. To some people, even, they make your life or your family so irrelevant that you are only allowed, he is your family. So you're only spiritual father. Is that what they say? I think that's what they say. That's what they call these things. So so I get a call. Pastor Chris wants to see you. He just wants to question what for an interview. Basically, they want to track your healing, and I go there. Yes, I did feel healed. I felt less of the headaches, and I was told that I just needed to pray it away. I get there, we have a meeting on a certain date. I get there. When I get there, I meet the media team. Guys, I'm just a bubbly person. If you see me in person, I'm just a bubbly person. I love and I make friends. Maybe not anymore, but I think I make friends pretty much quickly. I'm talkative. J. Like I said in the previous video, I even told these people to go, to grow with me. And meeting these people, we befriend each other, we exchange contacts, as well as our social media handles. I think at that time it was just Facebook. And life is good. We are laughing most. I mean, like, we are kids of Pastor Chris, right? So, this one particular guy, shows more interest than the others. Again, hold on. So the interview, you are coached. Basically, you are told what to do. Say this is what to say. I would like to tell Pastor Chris, I have been healed. What. I don't want to bring back my overjoy. I don't think I want to go back there. I think I can search it and find it. However, at some point I was very excited to see it. And then they have they used to have a TV channel, or let's just call it a TV channel or a station, whatever that was. And I used to be there, and people would see me and they will be so excited they saw me on TV. And I felt like a little celeb. So at that time it was good. Guys, I believed in the man in white. Then I don't even track this guy anymore. Then he only used to wear white shirts. So much in that church where they're so hypnotized that youngsters, males, would even copy his hairstyle and the white suits and the shoes. Anyway, an angel falling from earth, falling down to earth. So it's sent to save us. Sharp, no harm there. Good. And so in me, I said we exchanged contacts and social media handles with the people from the media team. We become friends. They asked to visit. They visit each time I'm in Joburg. I go to them. They invite me. We become friends, sort of. And I end up meeting, some more of the pastors. I'm meeting, and I met different people from different teams within the healing school. And that was great. But this one particular person that I said you hold on, not the pastor from before, just here. I remember this guy, there was another group in session that I went to visit. So, he starts asking me out. Sure. I am going to, you are only allowed to date within the church. This is what you're told and taught. You are only allowed to date within the church. And you are only, So when one person from the church showed interest in me, and, he was pretty civil and seemed like, it was a promising relationship. Guys, if you know me, Mina, I'm easily taken. If you know me, Mina, I love him. So if it seems promising in Yana, I will go in. Picture me. I will dive in the Jolo. So I dived in the Jolo, and thank God. It was that phase of my life where I was still, like I said, even body wise, 0 body count. So Ukel was holy, holier than most. Therefore, life continues. So I want to say, at that time, that this guy not persuade me to, do the deed. Did he not want to break my virginity? Did he not want me to take my virginity and, take it back with him to Nigeria? Because most of the people that were working there, it was a few South Africans. However, most of them, he had come with him. One thing about, Nigerians that I like, they look out for their own. There was majority, I'll say 70 to 80% of the people that worked there were Nigerians. So yes, this guy also happened to be Nigerian. Cool. At some point, did he not ask for the cake at church? So he asked me to accompany him somewhere. It was a private room, across this the hall or church, whatever it was called. Across that hall, right to the thingy, behind, to, like I said, to a secluded room. At that time, my judgment went straight towards this guy. Hey, aren't you not Christian? Aren't you Christian, John? Are you not Christian? And how are you asking for this and there's no ring on my finger? My parents don't know you. I don't know your parents. And that, obviously, I said no. Life went on. It went on. Like I said, I'd go visit them. I'd go visit the team as their friend. Where they were booked at the times. And just, I would think, what can I get? I'm just there to enjoy life, and sometimes this guy would want to, he would want to get into my pants. Again, I think that's just when I skipped ropes. I was like, this one wants me to sin. And easy. So, like I said, judgment, I just judged him, and not understanding and not knowing, if you go through this app alone, you will get stories of, how, I think there's also an interview from Ubani, Uncle Solomon's Temple. I think that's the name of his YouTube channel. I went to, I heard this was happening. That was the first time. And I was like, why did I suddenly, because me leaving church, it wasn't really like a decision. It was gradual. I don't feel at home here. I don't feel like it's church. I don't feel like this church is serving me spiritually, and which is what I believe church should. That is one of the things that church should do. Apart from me, I always based what was happening on the individuals and blamed the individuals, who were doing these suspicious tasks and trying these nasty games with me. So, and then, like I said, we formed a good friendship. I was friends with most of the people there. I was pretty popular with with them. And at some point, there was one which I don't remember which department he used to work. He also shared at me. At some point, I was supposed to date him. So at some point, I was supposed to date that guy. And I just did not understand. What can I get? Hi guys, Kanti, how are you? Like, is this what you do? But then I did not entertain it. I was too busy for that. So I volunteer in this program, and one of the people there, who headed my department, was a member of Christ Embassy, and who had hired the pastor to be his deputy. Sure, it is okay. Do I not get close with the pastor again? Because I will always attract these people somehow, some way. Njani, I don't know. But that's my life. And I remember this once, so this is when I broke my virginity. No, he did not know when I went and did it. However, he did get to know that I had a boyfriend, because at this time I had moved to Durban. I was in Durban full time and was attending, and he was one of the pastors from the Durban church. Because once I moved to Durban, so they had churches nationwide. I don't know. I don't hear about Christ Embassy, and I don't see it as much as I used to before. Before it was just shoved in your face. After a couple of years after I saw it. So, like I said, there were these things: just go get people, you introduce people. It was the best church to be in. It's either you're in Christ Embassy or you're not churching, or you are playing your time by going to church. You are playing your own self and wasting your time if you're going to any other church. So that was what they shoved into our brains. So yes, there was the Durban branch. I attended the Durban branch, and when I worked with this pastor, we got close. I remember, obviously, it's a work environment. We get to call people by their names, because if you want to be called Ubabugu Spanbani, go somewhere. I remember I needed to call, like, I remember once him calling the office for me, and it was a shared phone. And whilst calling me, everybody used to call, and then I answer just like anyone, because yes, I know he's my pastor, but this is not church. Did I not did I not get a scolding of my life? Oh wow. Then the dogs, if it's not babies, it's dogs. But back to the story. Did I not get a scolding of my life? Why am I calling him by his name? Suddenly it was wrong to call him by his name. And I remember at some point I went to visit my boyfriend. Guys, it was okay for me to visit my boyfriend. Nobody's going to tell me otherwise. To me, maybe not wrong, but considering the things that they were doing, it is wrong for you to judge me because I have slipped up and became of this world again. So he started judging me. I was so wrong. It was the worst thing that I could have done ever. Why am I even doing it? Now I needed to control. Now he needed to control my every move. Even after this volunteer program ended, we kept in contact. Again, this other time he calls me. I'm in Joburg again, visiting my boyfriend. Why are you even there? And I'm like, am I just going to wake up and marry someone because they groom you to get married? And like, no, you're just going to meet somebody today. If he's there to marry you, if you are meant to be married to him, it will be somebody from the church. You won't even court each other. So no, you won't even date each other. It's not necessary. You'll just marry and have kids. I've married my wife. I just met him. He tells me a story time. I think I met him 2 times. I met her 2 times. I married her. Oh, that happened to you. That is not the life I aspire. I am not willing to wake up in bed with a stranger. Meeting 2 times, and I'm going and I'm willing to tie the knot and give you my entire life, promise you till forever, till death do us part. Not in my books. So again, I was condemned. At that time I thought he just cared for me, he was disciplining me, and okay, slowly but gradually I started not liking this church. I remember at some point I used to attend 2 services. I did say I still am. I went back to, yes, I said no church is perfect, and by no means do I think the church that I grew up in, the church that I currently go to, that I feel comfortable with, rather, let me just say. But also church hopping is not my thing. I used to club hop back in the days. That was my thing. Church hopping was never my thing. So looking for a church that, I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with what I get, and swifting with what I don't want to access. What I feel is ungodly, what I feel like does not serve my spirit, does not serve my soul. That's what I want to say. So I started attending the church that I went to. This is the church that I grew up in, was born into, was, what you call this? I started at 8 till 9, and then the other one, and then the Christ Embassy one started at 10. At 10. So I would attend both churches. Then came a time whereby I started going to one church, and that was life with me. However, I still kept in contact. I think I didn't even break up with my boyfriend, with my church boyfriend. So I was going to be Miss Nigerian again. I think I don't know the people that get my heart. How do you do it, guys? Because I think I am always picky of the boyfriends that I date. You have to meet a certain standard, do this, that, just to show that, okay, you are me. I don't mind. I know I'm the prize. But sometimes love just I just find myself. But anyway, back to the story. So I remained friends with some, so we still remained in contact. Bush this other time I posted a picture. I think I had gained after I lost my stepdad. If you know, my stepdad was my everything. My stepdad was the man that showed me what I deserved, that raised the bar so high that till this day I have not met the man that reaches his level or the standards that he created for me. So I lost my stepdad, and when I'm going through the most, I lose. I gain weight. I gain weight like a crazy person. I remember I gained over 20 k's, over 20 to 30 k's in almost in just 3 months. And then after some time, I was working on a weight loss. I was on a weight loss. I was working on losing weight, and I was on a weight loss journey. Did I not post something that I liked? It was me in shorts and a bra.
Pastor decides to slide into my WhatsApp and tells me how he likes that photo. And then again, because we had stopped communicating. Like I said, once you stop going to these churches, you become an enemy. And I was okay with that. I had, I really was finding myself. I wasn't, and I think a church that, tells me, who God is, and God is in a box. Meanwhile, my God is my everything. You need to understand, with me, my God, I can speak to him. You cannot condemn me just because I did not come to church for reasons that I did not make, or I was unable to make it. And when Mr. Holier than thou, see it best that my circumstances, and now you can prioritize on my behalf. You can prioritize my life on my behalf, so I'm unable and incapable of doing so. So we restart, we kind of rekindled the pastor church girl. I was in my church girl era, guys, and once upon a time, I still am in a way.
So he sends, at first, I don't see anything wrong with this. He sends me that picture and says I liked it. And I said, thank you. Hello, I was just sharing my weight loss journey. Not expecting it to be sexualized. So at that time I had some sort of faith. Don't ask me why I trusted these people. But also in that time, like I said, Oguti, one of the reasons that just led me, it was everything there was monetized. Everything was about money, guys. Like, remember that the church that I go to, like the church that I was raised in, or rather even the family, in introducing me to God, mostly my family, must I add, or introducing me to God, God was a God of all. God, wanted, as a kid, you must be a good child. We wear rosaries, and somehow a rosary, we're told it breaks even if you had the slightest mean thoughts, and hence this is why I'm the person I am today. Is that all I knew is that I needed to keep that heart clean. Otherwise, if I'm not there, I think evil of somebody. There I think evil. There I say mean things. There I do horrible things. It will be out there for the world to know. And besides, like, it's never even been about people. It was about God punishing me. God being angry, and the last thing that I ever wanted to do was, make God angry at me. Do I even believe in that concept anymore? I don't. However, I like what it has groomed me to. I like that I am unable to, to do wrong things. It forced me to be a person that stays with a clean heart and, mind, that I don't, unless, and even before the situation, the worst thing that I'll ever want on a person is to swear at them, when they've angered me. I would want to swear at you, and wish that I could swear. And unfortunately, that's not my, swearing is not in my vocabulary. So that was the unfortunate, but that's the worst that I will wish on somebody. I would want to swear, 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 swear. And at that moment, my anger was just like, I wish I could swear. I wish I could find somebody to teach me how to swear, 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 swear. So that was my retaliation when somebody had wronged me. Yeah, life goes on. We keep talking. Haibo. Pastor is now sending me Nje, things, he's a lot now. He's frequently on video call with me. He wants us to pick up the relationship that we once had. When they came to South Africa, I needed to see them and whatnot. And this one time, I don't remember what he said per se, but it did allude to the fact that, it was sexual. I decided to just call me after 5 minutes and I pretended to be asleep. Next thing, Mugai is showing me his private parts. And hello, I said I do have it. I do have receipts. Do you want the receipts? Obviously, I can't show it here. So if he sees this and he feels touched, I can back up my story. When I come here, I can always back up my story. When I come here with a story and, I'm saying this, best believe, Uguti, guilt does not delete. So I was screenshotting and pretending to be asleep. And he was trying to wake me up. It felt so uncomfortable. And as a pastor, I was not able to find the right words to tell him, no, I'm not comfortable with what you're doing. And so he continued, and I ended up just muting the phone and pretending as if I had fallen asleep and the fool fell off on the bed. And that is a Christ Embassy pastor. So, and then just to go back again, so remember the boyfriend that I had, the media guy, even him would come back to my Instagram, every now and then, and like, hey girl, I want you, what, a lot, and sending me inappropriate messages. And I feel if had I been desperate, had I not wanted to, had I been not shooketh to the point that it worried me, would say, how is this possible? Are we not supposed to be in church, and is this not allowed in church? Is this allowed in church? So I probably would have fallen for it, but I was just too in my feels so much that I was shook at shame. It flabbergasted me. I was flabbergasted. I don't know who says that. I don't remember. Is it Sumizi or Wami? So that. Also, another reason why I left Christ Embassy was, it felt like cult like I said, I grew up believing, being told, I was told that there is one God, and which doesn't matter the church that you go to, we serve. I was told not to discriminate churches. Instead, whichever church you go to, it's still church, because what you go there for a connection with God, a deeper connection. So when they, will judge other churches, a church that judges, and if that's when I just, that's another reason. And how much everything was about money in that church. To get rich, give. Remember, I'm from a church that, says give what you have, what you can give. When you're unable to give, hi guys, about what you will see, they don't, now tell you that, your life, that's why your life is not succeeding. That's why you're at this position. That's why you're like this, because now I need to take my last cent. I would see how I remember this guy, he was a student, and he had, a mother that spoiled him, and he was deep into this church. Mukai would take everything. He would sacrifice his everything, his entire self, and plant so that, it can grow. And I was glad to see, the last time I saw that guy, I was glad to see that, he once posted that he's doing the things that he used to pray about, and he was coming out very well. He was coming up very well. And it was clear that he had stopped going to this church as well. So now I need to pray. I need to pray about getting a job. Hold on. Guys, I don't know if the sound, I think the sound is going to be different from the previous clips, because oh girl forgot this thing about microphones, and she now has a microphone. But anyway, back to what we were talking about. With everything was monetized, and you needed to sow in a seed for absolutely everything, because your life depended on you giving to the church, enriching the church. And for success in any part of your life, you want kids, so you want marriage, so you want a successful business, sow a seed. So you needed to sow a seed, and the seed was always monetary value. You could not go and give give to the church your time. You couldn't donate your time, and that would be enough. You could not go to a shelter, and this is you doing charity work, and it would be enough. It needed to be ka-ching. So yeah, and let's just do the last part. Say the last for best. Was I not meant to meet Pastor Chris at some point? And this, let me tell you, this was the ultimate goal when you go there. This reminds me of Bushiri's people. I met Bushiri's people, and all they wanted to do was to meet, what is he? Prophet Bushiri, at any cost to their life, and it costed like 7,000 rands to see him, and people were willing to, and people. I remember I met this girl who couldn't say, I wish I could get in my trick and so that I could study further. Who didn't say that I wish to go to a skills institution and upgrade a skill so that I can feed my kid. Her ultimate goal was meeting Prophet Bashiri, having a one-on-one, and unfortunately she couldn't afford it. So even with the church that I went to, the ultimate goal was meeting the head pastor. The angel sent from heaven, the men in white suits. Hey, did I not? Hey, the time when I was about to meet him, that I needed to meet him, then something in me say, don't. I gave up what seemed like the best opportunity, an opportunity of a lifetime, and I gave it up. And funny enough, I didn't even regret it. And I was like, no, he's just a person now. Yeah. No, why do I need to meet him? And that was frowned upon because remember, he's the ultimate God. So all of a sudden, me now, I'm not being respectful to the church. And I was cursed. I don't want to lie. I was cursed, as if I don't want to lie, as if I don't have a vision. My dreams are not, wild enough. How could I let up this opportunity? Looking back, why were they so desperate that I meet their God? Why? I would never understand. And then you go, here I need you to go back to some vigils when, they say meeting Pastor Chris. Why were they so desperate that I see that guy? But we move. So I think that was the best. So these are part of the reasons. I think most of the reasons why I I left Christ Embassy Church, and I'm happy with the decision. Is there a church that I believe will serve me whole? I'm not sure. Maybe there is. However, so far, most churches, I see that they are judgmental, especially these charismatic churches. For me, they are judging, and they have an entire scope of what God speaks to them, what is right, what is wrong, according to that. So what I like. So God did not give me, in a way, God did not give me my life. He did not bring me onto this earth to fulfill his purposes in a way that he sees fit, and also for me to live my life to the fullest. It is somewhat dictated why I was brought into church, and this is how I need to act, and this is what I need to do. And I was like, show me that scope. Prove it to me. Because now I'm the happiest with the God that I speak to in my room, the God that I speak to in the car, the God that I am able to engage with whichever church I go to. Because yes, I say this is the main church, I still go to other churches. I mean, like, if there's no church or a friend has invited me to a different church, I will go. I will go. And praise the Lord amongst the many. To me, that is churches that, guys, if you tell me what to wear like every month, you'll have you're not telling people, what to wear, the color of this month, we are doing these events. I'm not saying they're wrong, they're good, but have you ever thought of a person that does not afford? Consider the person that has to borrow, the person that has nobody to borrow from. I know, Mina, from a sister of mine who attends this church, very judgmental. Her heart is off. And she had to borrow clothes from me from Joburg. And I needed to bring them to Durban. I needed to wear, because church wants this. This was before she was working. And I was like, no, man. When you don't have, what happens when you don't have? And you are so desperate to fit in. How about I come with what I have? And the churches stop pressurizing their congregants to wear things, to wear certain colors, wear this, wear that. And I'm glad that now she can afford, because now she can do it, as she pleases. So that is my conclusion, Ogoti. I'm happy with the God that I serve, the God that is my best friend, the God that is my calm in the storm, the God that I call upon, the God that I'm able to curse when I'm not okay. I'm able to say, God, where are you? I'm able to question. Because if we are not confrontational with him, then who else am I supposed to be? Who else am I supposed to confront? When I feel that life is not lifing. So, the God that I'm able to, today I am able to just whip up a song and feel him and be with him when I feel like, and sometimes it is in the quietness and the stillness, and feel him. And sometimes it is that groove. I feel him. Unfortunately, I'm not a groove person anymore. I hardly go. I still go. I just hardly go. I hardly go. My age is in the knee crackling stage. So since it's winter now, where am I going? Where am I going to come back with painful knees and whatnot? But anyway, guys, that's it for today. Kindly do subscribe, turn on your notifications, and like this video if you enjoyed it, and tell me, why did you stop going to a certain church? I absolutely love the fact that Pastor Chris was one of the first people, who came with this cat-like churches. Introduced this cat-like church in South Africa. In South Africa. And I'm lucky that I went there, experienced this, and meanwhile, there are some people, who went, and then there are some people who church hop from this church to this church, from this church to this church. Meanwhile, they're doing, these churches are all kind of like, I'm lucky that I decided to stop and find myself. And I love the God that I praise. I love the God that is anywhere and everywhere. The God that does not discriminate, the God that does not judge, the God that loves me for who I am, the God that does not dictate according to man's values. See you in my next upload. Thank you.